So what you guys are seeing in this clip here is very replicatable. If you're struggling with guys who are constantly pressuring you, Rocky Marciano, Mike Tyson, just throwing power right uppercut downstairs to the body constantly, power straights downstairs to the body constantly, giving you no space on the inside and just constantly walking you down. I'm letting you know what I just did here with this knockdown, you can do it as well, but I'm going to explain all that right after the intro. Stay tuned.
Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how this shit is done. My composition, my propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental, lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop, and when I say I'm raping the system.
All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Do me a favor, let's get YouTube law out of the way before I introduce myself. Jab the like button and go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Get us into the algorithm so we can continue helping new players and players who may not understand this information. So please jab the like button, and without further ado, let's get into what not to do. It's your boy FightNightsFinest coming back at y'all with a tutorial on how to deal with and understand pressure fighters. So we start off this round and this fight in round number 3, because I want to give you guys a good example of what not to do. Now, if you watch my live streams or seen any of my previous videos, you always hear me say, if somebody's going to the body, throw the uppercut to the head. Now, that is step 1. A lot of your combinations and a lot of what you will be doing is going to start with throwing that left uppercut and the right uppercuts upstairs to the head, and of course, mixing in your own body attack as well. But what not to do is stand flat-footed and trade with the guy because you don't want to concede pressure. Not wanting to move backwards, having that arrogance for thinking that it's going to be mano a mano. Let's just trade and let's get into a brawl. We don't have to do this. What you're seeing here is ignorant gameplay, and I don't want y'all doing this in your matches. I'm sure a lot of the times when you're being pressured, especially after you realize that the opponent is a pressure fighter, you get into wars and slugfests like this. We're not Tim Bradleys. We're not Ruslan Provodnikovs. We are not Arturo Gatti players. We don't do this. We don't stand in the center of the ring and just trade with inside fighters because we think this is what we have to do in order to win the fight or to stop being pressured. Now, you are fighting back, but like I said, this is a poorly executed version of the game plan. So I tried my best to emulate a lot of what I will see online when I notice players are getting pressured. Not only in videos, they'll stand flat-footed, they'll throw the uppercut, or they'll just keep throwing 5, 6, 4-punch combinations and continuously trade with their opponent. That's not what we're going to do. I'm going to show you guys a much smarter way of doing this without getting in these slugfests and trades, because there you go, you get rocked, you get 4% stamina recovery, and overall you get into these matches where you're just coin flipping and tossing up. Now, you saw the opponent's record. I played this guy on the stream the other day. Very good opponent, not a bad player at all. But when these guys are giving you this pressure style, what you want to do is a little bit of what you're seeing in example number 4, but this is also still incorrect. We're going to get into the correct example in just a bit. But you want to utilize the outside. You want to be on the outside, and you want to be where I say Fight Night Champion rewards you, because if you notice against some players who may have that style where it's like they always want to be backing up, the game is meant for you to back up. That is where you're going to have the most success. You see a lot of spammers back up. You see a lot of people who like to counter fight back up. Ideally, you want to be backing up. But the problem with this example here is look how much counterplay I'm. If you are still combination happy, if you are still looking to trade with your opponent, you're going to end up eventually getting overwhelmed. Now, this is a round I actually won, believe it or not, but it's still ineffective because look how much work I am having to do. I know you guys like to throw combinations, and when you are being pressured, you feel the need to throw back constantly. But understand the pressure is invisible. You are basically helping to walk into your opponent's game plan. Because when he's walking forward like this, throwing these power shots and uppercuts downstairs to the body, these body hooks, these 1-2s, the right uppercut only, the power straight only, whatever the case may be, you are still being inefficient with your attack. And this is actually something that I learned from UFC, is you have to be balanced with your attack, but you also can't always concede pressure. And if you are going to concede pressure, you have to do it smartly. And just because somebody is in your face, it does not necessarily mean that you have to be throwing combinations 3, 4, 5, 6 strikes at a time, or just anytime he throws at you, you feel he throws 2, I have to throw 3. While that is a general law of boxing, as you can see again, your boy gets stunned. So in order to correct the problem and not be walking around with 3% recovery every single time, notice I'm going to have around, 77% stamina. I've already been inefficient. Let's first talk about how to identify that your opponent is a pressure fighter. And a good example of how to handle it. So I notice automatically my opponent is in my chest. We're going back to round number 1 here. Jab straight downstairs to the body. If you notice, most of its attacks and most of his combinations will start downstairs to the body. So if you notice, I'm simply observing what it is my opponent wants to do. He's stepping in the direction he sees me walking. That is a good indication that he's trying to cut the ring off and he is trying to work my body. He's coming with that Joe Frazier level stamina attack. He wants to be on the inside, constantly training. So if you notice here, I'm using my jab. I'm looking for opportunities where I can land my own shots. I'm still doing a much better job of handling the pressure here. I'm sidestepping to make sure I'm not going up just against the ropes automatically. I'm reading his timing. I had a counter opportunity there. But notice he drops his hands here, and this is a little something that happened where his controller got disconnected. Honorable player here. I'm not going to just knock him out. I'm going to give him a chance to recover and see what he comes back with. Like I said, I played this guy on the stream the other day. Good opponent. But I also noticed he has a pressure style. So there's the left uppercut coming in at the same time where I knew he wanted to throw the body shot. So it's an intercepting strike. What you want to do is when you know your opponent is going downstairs to the body, you want to use your short shots, lead uppercut to the head and lead uppercut, rear uppercut to that. So you could use either the lead left uppercut or the right uppercut. And if you're in southpaw, it'll be the same theory. Now, you also see me do something there. Double jab followed by the straight right hand when I was in space. So using your punches at the correct zone will allow you to fend off pressure. Now, it's not always going to be a chance to throw combinations, but you could do the same thing with a single jab or a straight, and we're going to have some examples of that coming up in these next rounds. And also, look at the stamina recovery. 11% because I'm not always trading with combinations. I'm letting my bar refill after every shot. And I'm also waiting my turn to throw the punch. Now, this is in round number 6. It's a little bit later into the fight. I'm still throwing combinations. I have a good understanding of how to deal with my opponent's timing, what kind of combinations he likes to throw at me. And look at the poise. Now, he's throwing 5 or 6 punches. I wait till he stops and he lets his bar refill. I'm not trading with my opponent. I'm simply throwing punches in single strikes, maybe 1 or 2 strikes every once in a while. A 2-punch combination, 3 at max after he is recovering his stamina. So there's something called temporary stamina recovery, right? So after your opponent throws a 2 or 3 punch combination and he is recovering, then you want to put your offense out there. Notice something else I'm doing in this round. There are moments when I am dropping my hands so that I can increase the speed of my footwork. This way he can't trap me in the corner. And you also see me doing something else. I am confusing my opponent by changing the direction of which I am going in the ring. And once I am in space and I get that angle, you see me using the jab and the straight. Now, I've already scored big with a power straight up top, a jab and a right uppercut. I'm still utilizing the uppercut. And notice the difference. He can't get off as many punches. Not only is because it's later in the fight, but I am not giving him that space to hit me because I am bouncing from left and right, and I'm constantly changing the angle. I'm not backing straight up. So you don't want to just back up straight into the ropes. You want to change the direction to make it harder for your opponent to pin you down and just trap you into the corner or trap you against the ropes. So when you're in space, you want to walk behind or work behind your longest punches, your jab, your straight, and you'll find opportunities where you can go ahead and hit your opponent. And I'm also hitting him to his body. So when I am attacking downstairs to the body, is to let him know if you're going to have a stamina attack, it's not going to be free. So if you notice the first 2 examples, I had like 3% recovery, 4% recovery, and I was not getting good recoveries at all because I was trading too much with my opponent, and I was also throwing in combination a lot. when you decide to use single strikes and you are using your footwork and allowing that to set up your offense, you're going to find that you're going to have a much easier time dealing with somebody who's constantly pressuring. Now, this doesn't matter if they're only throwing that single right uppercut downstairs to the body or that single power straight and they're hitting you hard. If you are efficient with your attack and you're not being wasteful with your punches, it's going to be a lot harder for your opponents to drain your stamina. Now, remember, when I was at 77% stamina, I'm in round number 8 now, and I damn near have the same amount of stamina now. I'm maintaining what I have, and I'm getting about 10% to 11% recovery, regardless of how much he hits me in the body. And it's not like I'm not throwing a lot of punches, but I'm giving my bar a chance to fill, and I'm not trading with my opponent. I'm simply waiting for my time to hit him, either with an intercepting strike or I'm hitting him downstairs to the body, like in a good trade. See how I let my stamina bar refill after throwing the power shot? There's an interrupting strike with the uppercut, which is key, because for every 3 body shots he lands, it's equal to 1 of my headshots. Not only does Floyd Patterson hit harder than Meldrick Johnson, but also the mere fact that he has to work much harder in order to land his offense. And see how I'm creating angles. I'm using angles. I'm sidestepping. I'm also bouncing from left to right. I'm changing the direction when he thinks he has me in a certain spot. I back straight up, and then I use my 1-2 in order to capitalize on the distance that I was able to create. So all these things in cumbersome, or as a unit, will allow you to fend off pressure fighters really easy. And some guys are going to be better at cutting off the ring than others, but the concept still applies. Select your shots correctly when you're in distance, jabs and straights. When you're up close with your opponent, use your uppercuts and your hooks. Mainly look for good times to land the right or the left uppercut when your opponent is thrown downstairs to the body. So interrupt the strike, get his timing out, observe what it is that's going on, stay focused during the fight, and you'll be able to replicate that knockdown that you saw me had in the beginning of the fight. So let's go ahead and call the action here. Straight right hand connects. When I was in space, use the overhand right and then the left uppercut. A lot of my combinations you're going to see here, I'm going to be using the uppercut primarily. In space, I backed up, I backstep, and I threw the straight right hand. Left hook to the head, and then a right hook downstairs to the body. Sidestep uppercut. 3-punch combination. Varying the attack high-low, keeping the opponent confused. Jab to the head followed by the straight to the body. Left uppercut is a very good combination. Lead left hook catches him. He sees me coming in. I use head movement. Here's a quick tip on head movement. Only use it when you think you can get a counter or when you can target that uppercut. That is when you're going to use head movement. Notice I didn't use any head movement. I'm not circling my head. I'm not allowing my stamina to get hit because he's already trying to target me to the body. So that is the key thing to remember. Side steps, rely on your block, rely on your footwork. Do not use head movement because you're only going to drain your stamina even further. Side step, right uppercut connect, straight right hand. Also was able to check the guard. I'm utilizing the jab now in space. I'm still switching up the timing of my strikes. There goes a jab and straight to the head. Right hook to the head, or right overhand hook to the head. Left hook to the head as well. Another double hook combination upstairs that was not able to land. Left uppercut connects. Another left uppercut connects, and now here comes that combination from before. Look at the setup here. Jab straight, left uppercut, right hand to the head, and I'm able to drop my opponent and put him down on the canvas. So this is how you deal with pressure fighters. Once again, if you guys enjoyed the video, found it informative, please do me a favor. Jab the like button, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Share it with your friends, all that good stuff. Share it on your social medias. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's been your boy, FightNightsFinest, showing you guys how to effectively deal and understand pressure fighters and, counter them. There you go.